Welcome back to the channel. Now, after the news or the letter itself started to circulate social media, the letter from the UK Privy Council that stated that the Jamaican government would have to repay Vybz Kartel and this other co-accused for their lawyer fees. Now, when people ask this, some people are asked, was this even true? Now, I'm going to hear from Isaac Buchanan, who has indeed confirmed that the Jamaican government will have to pay back lawyer fees, and also outlined certain issues and situations on the Jamaican island that he says it's clear the government is paying no attention to. Of course, I'm wanting to look, I'm wanting to listen.
You don't want a retrial. That's what it sounds
It's not gonna happen.
So would it then be? Would he be then released on time serve, or would it?
No. He's not. There's no time. There's no time. In fact, there's a nice thing in the order when the king sign it that says pay the man them money for their legal fees that they wasted. Locked up for 13 years. Availability of witnesses. Is the witnesses available?
Right.
And we're not just talking about the material witness.
Yeah.
We're talking about officers who have retired, whatever. And then what of the evidence?
Right, the preservation of evidence.
What about publicity? What about the prospects of having a fair
Well,
hearing?
that was literally going to be my question. If a retrial takes place, how is it? Do you think that it would be fair for everyone charged?
Just the judges in their wisdom will be able to answer that.
Okay.
Because naturally, from where I sit, I am going to say no.
So you can't. So you,
institutions and call them out. And he could never be saying that this government is not weak. They can't fight crime. They can't feed 2 million people in this country can't eat. That is what burned me. You can't protect the kids. What burned me? The proclamation today to recognize today as crying for our children and mourning our children. If we were protecting them, we wouldn't have to be mourning them. That's what burned me. And you're talking about salaries, and you feel proud to be spending taxpayers' dollars when man can break out of prison because the zinc them now hold up and them using alien laser. That burned me. What burned me, you just say anything you want and then you come talking about you can turn on your PR, and you not run no PR now like Jamaica is a one big dunce PR country. That is what burned me. You have people, you have hard-working people in this country. You have the teachers who don't get paid. That burned me. Police officers don't get paid. That burned me. DCS officers don't get paid, so them have to bring in cell phone in a prison. That burned me. Everything we just pop down. That burned me. And you're talking about roads, and you have to change tire on your expensive car because the hole them big and deep on the road. I have to drive go around them, and them never teach you that in a driving school. That burned me. I could talk about all the things that burned me, and them in a parliament with them Lego beast self when they come from nowhere, behaving like them a smaddy, while we out here and we are struggled. That burned me. We have to struggle.
Now, some Jamaicans, even some who are not attorneys, have said that one of the reasons why we have hardly seen any individual take their case all the way to the Privy Council because it's a very costly process. Keep in mind, in recent days or months, years, the only other case we have seen brought before the Privy Council is that of elected officials, that the Trafalgar scandal, that are government officials. And the situation was slightly the same. The UK Privy Council made a ruling and sent the case back to Jamaican courts. Most often what we've heard is attorneys say them plan for appeal. And even that is costly. But if we take the case all the way to the UK Privy Council, what heap of money have to spend. Now, that's been confirmed that the Jamaican government will be repaying those fees. And if it costs if one individual, even though this is a case where all of these individuals are accused of participating in the same criminal act, so like a separate cases, but a whole heap of defendants, whole heap of appellants, as the document would state. That means a whole heap of documentation. And even though they are all accused of participation, each has to be represented by different attorneys. Sound like a whole heap of money. Sound like a whole heap of money I have to pay back. And based on what the document has state, it sounds like that in regard or regardless of whatever decision the Court of Appeal make. Whatever the Court of Appeal decides, that now have nothing to do with the letter that has been sent by the UK Privy Council. We said the money have to pay back. It sounds like the money have to pay back for the whole Privy Council process. Remember one of the narratives online was people have said, boy, the amount of money the Vybz Kartel them have to spend on attorneys for this Privy Council matter. And it'll take months after months. That before the case itself was brought to the UK. People have said the amount of money have to spend and they made about the different documentations, when they made about the forensic people, they made have to fly come out and come look on the evidence. And Cartel even had a line in his song where him jokingly said, big up the lie, them will take away money. Or who try for done him money. Jokingly saying that, since being behind the bars, truth be told, since being behind the bars, and this happened to a whole heap of artists across a whole heap of different genres. Tupac them, you know what I mean, even Lil Wayne, you name the entertainer, Snoop Dogg. While behind the bars, sales of their already recorded music go up. Fever was a gold-selling record while Vybz Kartel was behind the bars. For all of who they think Vybz Kartel did have a certain amount of money before incarceration, just based on the analytics, the statistics, Vybz Kartel might be 10 times as wealthy as before incarceration, believe it or not. So that was just a bit of humor for the fans. But it was a narrative, because people that speculate saying that this must cost a whole heap of money. Well, the government take a pay it back. UK said, I want to know if this I want normally happen, because elected officials who do the traffic order thing, they never really make certain things public. As a matter of fact, we never hear nothing more from that. Matter of fact, I about the traffic order thing from, I think, a primary school. So it's surprised for no say it was something was still even ongoing. But talk to me in the comment section and tell me what you think about the stipulation. That has no. We hear Bert Samuel say it. Isaac Buchanan say it. We hear Bert Samuel saying that he's not strongly confident that there will be no retrial. Isaac Buchanan said the same thing. He must say how the state would think a retrial is possible with all our go on. And I think during them time there, we're not sure, but probably before we did hear of the jury shortage, which is also another major factor. And seeing that in this case in particular, jury misconduct has cost the government millions, because Vybz Kartel maintained his innocence and took the case to the UK Privy Council. And the Privy Council has ruled that they have to pay him back the money they spent for proof say he did not get a fair trial. Keep in mind the people look on the fact for no say with that jury situation, the judge did know that the defense, prosecution, even though they all agreed to move forward, based on how see the UK Privy Council look on the situation, they must say there's no way you could agree to move forward. How? When this is a basic law, say yo, from something like that happen with the jury, we now forget a new one. Clearly, certain biases are going to get developed. Keep in mind the jury foreman was put into witness protection and sent overseas. So the jury situation, even though it might sound simple to the public, it cost the government millions in their case here. So if you go retry it now with jury issues, that they even sound logical. And we are talking about the court. They're going to deal with ethics, law, logics. How will this pan out? Now, some people have said there's a new DPP. Truth be told, though, the acting DPP, even if she was, let's say this, if the acting DPP before becoming the acting DPP had a major case that was that prosecutors' main focus, I was not fully aware or even a part of the Vybz Kartel's trials. The office, when the former DPP said that her office was working on the documents, she'd have whole heap of other case to focus on. She had the director of public prosecution. She cannot focus on one case. So there are people, paralegals, there are other prosecutors, people who work at the office of public prosecution. And them normally I deal with them files there and I deal with them documentation there. So the DPP being changed wouldn't necessarily change that. Forget what I say. You still gotta have them people in the office where I deal with that. Them documents are still dead. Them not gone away. They haven't been changed. The process would still remain the same. Just as a new person is now the DPP. Now, what we haven't heard is, since that's already reached the point where submissions there's already been a date set for submissions to be made. We don't know if there was an instance or a scenario where the office of or the Department of Public Prosecutions could have chosen to not ask for a retrial. Was the situation mandatory? Was it that the office had to ask for a retrial? Or if they could have chosen not to? And if that is the scenario, does this DPP want a retrial in a matter like this? A food for thought. We don't know. We don't know if it's just a normal process where you get returned to the appeal court and the prosecution have to ask for a retrial. Like they could have say, yo, boy, grieving justice was done. And you know what I mean? I think justice was served now with that whole situation. And then we're going to move on. Or it's the situation where it is solely up to the appeal court to make this decision. And bring the prosecution will have to prosecute as long as there's evidence. But talk to me in the comment section. Comment section 24/7, never lock it. I know what you think. If you do click subscribe icon and the bell icon, yeah, man, put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you. Now until the reason again, my sentiments for you and yours are for to live, love and prosper. And for to stay tuned until the reason again.